Salvano, as well as the start of the day short stack who's still hanging in there, Ricardo Neto from Brazil, who is seated next to Mexico final table player Leonardo Emperador of Venezuela. Blinds are up to 1.5K, 3K. Alex folds. Emperador folds.
Yep, we usually expect the play to be pretty tight on the bubble.
Neto looks at ace-3 offsuit.
This better be all in or fold, or it's a bad play.
750.
Well, it's a bad play then, at least in your definition, because he's raised it up to 7,500. Could he be doing that to make it look like he's really strong?
Well, that could be his reasoning, but the problem is now he might get a call from somebody, and if they hit the flop, he's not going to be able to get rid of them.
Well, Salvano does call. He's got queen 10 suited. He's going to call the 6,000. Jose Rosenkrantz in the big blind, not going to play. And we've got heads-up action. Neto a slight favorite going to the flop.
Yeah, and this really isn't what Neto wanted. He'd be better off taking down the blinds and antes. Not anymore.
Yeah, you sure about that with that flop? Ace, ace, 6, Neto with trip aces. But Salvano has absolutely nothing and checks. Can Neto induce a bluff?
Well, if I were him, I'd be trying. I don't have many chips left, so I'm going to take a chance here, giving a free card that would hurt me. Nope, not again. No, I'm wrong again.
Neto moves all in. I don't understand the play.
It doesn't give your opponent any chance to put his chips in the pot with a bad hand. And how can he play the queen 10 now? And that's exactly the thing. I mean, lots of hands that he could be having.
Well, Salvano folds. Neto takes in the pot 40,000 chips. But it could have been more, right?
Well, I think Neto was afraid of the hearts, but you got to take on some risk if you want to get the big stack and win a tournament.
Well, Neto may not have the most chips, but this 26-year-old has a lot of experience. But we are just 5 players away from the money. And out in the field, another player is at risk. Mexican pro Angel Guillen is called the all-in raise of Ernesto Pano from Argentina. And Pano is in bad shape with 6-3 of clubs.
Well, I mean, he's got an absolutely horrible hand, and look at this, 38% equity because he's got 2 live cards. It's really amazing how bad your hand can be sometimes, and you're not that bad off.
Well, here's the flop. Ace, 9, 10. Nothing there for either player, and Guillen is now an 80% favorite to win this pot and eliminate Pano.
He needs to catch a 3 or a 6.
9 of spades, definitely not a 3 or a 6.
Doesn't change a thing still. Any 3, any 6 on the river is going to be good enough.
Pano, a 17% chance of surviving. There could be just 1 card left in his tournament. Oh, and the deuce of hearts, and Pano is eliminated so close to the bubble. How difficult is it to go so far in the tournament and get eliminated this close?
Well, and especially then to be eliminated with a total junk hand like 6-3. I'm sure he really had no choice. He was probably very short-stacked. But it always hurts to bubble in any tournament.
And indeed, the field is just 4 players away from making the money.
Welcome back to beautiful Punta del Este and the PokerStars.net Latin American Poker Tour. 20 miles of pristine beaches offer plenty of choices for daytime activities. And after sunset, the city comes alive. But for the remaining players, the sea life and nightlife will have to wait. So let's get back to the poker room.
Thank you, Marianella. I'm David Tuckman alongside World Series of Poker champion Greg Raymer. 40 players still remain in this LAPT Uruguay event. We are just 4 eliminations from making the money. There is Oliver Rowe, who began the day as chip leader and has remained among the top 5 in chips. He is going to sit this one out. But while at the next table, Bolivar Palacios is in a hand on the turn against one of the Uruguayans, Alejandro Bonanata, who has bet 10,000 over to Bolivar. And Bolivar counting out some more chips. He doesn't believe him, and he is going to raise this one up, putting the heat back onto Bonanata, the short stack.
Well, and he's not terribly short, but he's got a lot fewer chips than Bolivar. So is Bolivar playing the bully, and now he's standing up, looking disinterested, trying to sell the image that he wants action. Well, it's going to work.
And Bonanata folds, and Palacios shows the 8-deuce offsuit bluff.
The absolute nothing bluff. That one could have hurt him if it backfired.
Palacios up over 160,000 chips, taking advantage of the impending bubble. He's using his aggressive play to add to his chip stack. There's another aggressive player, Angel Guillen. He's been one of the top chip stacks all day, but he's not involved in this pot. Brazil's Octavio Bernardini is all in with ace, queen of spades, and he is in bad shape because he is all in against Argentina's Lisandro Gallo's aces. There's a big rivalry between Argentina and Brazil in sports.
Well, this time we're going to play it out on the poker table.
Well, here's the flop. 7-5 deuce. Well, there's some hope for Bernardini. He's got the spade draw. He needs a spade. His percentage is now up to 37%. Lisandro Gallo, by the way, made the final table last year at the LAPT here in Uruguay. Here's a turn. Oh, and the 4 of spades gives the hand to Bernardini.
I mean, such a miracle card. I mean, you know, it's not like Bernardini did anything wrong. Ace, queen of spades is a very big starting hand. But when you run into 2 aces, get it all in, and then somehow survive the hand, that's when you know you're running good.
And for Lisandro Gallo, it's a big hit to his stack, but he is still alive in this tournament. Well, in that hand, the Brazilian bested the Argentinian. Those two countries, like so many in Latin America, have long-standing rivalries in many sports. And in this edition of Offsuit, we asked the question, which Latin American country has the best poker players?
Sin lugar a dudas, los mejores jugadores de póker de América Latina venían de Costa Rica.
Argentina.
Mexicanos, Colombia.
Chile, Venezuela, Panamá.
Costa Rica. Sin duda.
Costa Rica es el país que tiene más brazaletes, más que los brasileños, más que los mexicanos, más que Chile, más que Perú. Póquer, amigos, ¿qué se puede hacer?
Não tô falando isso porque eu sou brasileiro, mas é o Brasil mesmo.
Com certeza, acho que existe uma competitividade sadia entre os países.
En el póker siempre vas a apoyar a las personas que sean de tu mismo país.
É óbvio que existe a rivalidade entre Brasil e Argentina. Essas coisas acontecem. Mas a rivalidade, a gente dá uma espetadinha na galera, sempre não custa nada, né?
Bueno, es divertido ganarle a Brasil, por supuesto.
No Brasil, os jogadores eles torcem muito pelos outros.
El latino se toma el póker un poco más como el fútbol. Festejan mucho más.
Eu acho que essa competição ela só tende a ajudar o crescimento do poker. Eu acho uma coisa totalmente sadia e proveitosa para todo mundo.
¡Vamos, Latinoamérica! Costa Rica en estos momentos es el número 1 en el póker latinoamericano. Yo sé que nos van a alcanzar amigos brasileños, amigos argentinos. Yo sé que nos irán a pasar, pero no va a ser muy fácil.
Well, I'm not sure which Latin American country produces the best poker players. I just know that they keep getting better and makes it tougher and tougher to win one of these LAPT trophies.
Well, we are still 4 players away from making the money, and blinds are still at 1,500, 3,000. Action on former chip leader Mario Salvano. He is not going to play the hand.
Jose Rosenkrantz lets it go.
Action over to Leonardo Emperador. 1 jack. Oh, that looks like a couple of them. That's 2 jacks. And he's all in.
Yep. Why take your chances, you know? He's got plenty of chips here on the button, but he might get action from a bad hand, and still he wants to protect his hand as well because we are on the bubble.
Well, he raised it up to 36.4 thousand. Ricardo Neto gets out of the way. Action over to Hernan Reyes.
Well, he threw away 2 aces. We know he's throwing this away.
He's got ace, deuce of diamonds.
He's thinking about it.
He's calling it. Wow.
You can throw away 2 aces, but you can't throw away ace deuce. I'm a little confused.
Well, Emperador is ahead here. 68% chance that he'll survive.
He doesn't like it, though. You can tell. He's like, why did this guy call me with a bad ace? Better than ace-king, though. You only got to fade 1 overcard.
Reyes a 32% chance of winning this pot. Needs diamonds or an ace. Oh, and there's an ace. Ace, 6, 4, a couple of spades out there. And Emperador is on life support right now. Needs a jack or running spades.
Yeah, that's pretty unfortunate. I mean, you got the 1 overcard to fade, and there it is. It seems like this happens more than it should when you're the guy with the pair.
And Emperador does not look well. Almost looks sick from that flop. Here's a turn. 10 of spades. Well, more outs for Emperador. A jack or a spade. He's got 9 spades, 2 jacks, 11 outs with 1 card to come.
Well, was that 10 of tees, or is he going to get there? Our river card is going to come, and is he going to be out or doubled up?
The river, the 7 of diamonds, and Leonardo Emperador is out. He is eliminated, and Hernan Reyes wins the hand, gives a hug. Not sure Emperador wanted to hug him there.
No, he's out and he's disgusted about it. I mean, I don't think he can believe that he found as good a hand as 2 jacks and went broke to as bad a hand as ace deuce.
Well, fair or not, we are just 3 eliminations away from making the money here at the LAPT in Uruguay. Welcome back to the LAPT, where the recently eliminated Leonardo Emperador is now with Marianela Pereira.
Leonardo, you unfortunately went home empty-handed. How do you feel right now?
No muy bien, evidentemente. Me eliminaron muy cerca de los premios. Pero, bueno, así es el juego y así es lo que yo estoy acostumbrado a hacer y lamentablemente estoy fuera.
Your friend Vincenzo did very well at the LAPT in Chile, and you did very well in Mexico and here in Uruguay. Is there another Venezuelan poker player that we should be on the lookout for?
Sí, claro que sí. Yo creo que hay muchos venezolanos.
Viva Venezuela.
Viva Venezuela.
Thanks so much.
Gracias a ti.
Well, thank you, Marianela. And there is Bolivar Palacios, the sole representative from the LAPT Mexico final table. He and the rest of the field only have to outlast 3 more players to cash in this event. Well, across the room, Gustav Lagner, a lawyer from Brazil, moved all in from the small blind with Queen 5 offsuit and was quickly called by Uruguayan Cesar Sanguinetti, who called from the big blind with pocket queens, and now there's just 1 more card to come. Lagner needs a 5 and only a 5. Not going to happen. It's the 3 of clubs, and Lagner is eliminated so close to the money. We are just 2 players away from making the money, and maybe even closer, as Alejandro Bonanata has Bjorn Johansson all in and behind on the flop.
Well, behind, but not all that far behind.
Yeah, Johansson's going to need running spades or an ace or a king. 3 of clubs on the turn.
Wasn't a spade, so now it's just an ace or a king for Johansson.
Queen of spades, not going to do it, and Johansson is eliminated, and we are just 1 player away from making the money as Bonanata knocks out Johansson. We move back to the feature table. Blinds are 2,000, 4,000. There's our chip leader, Alex de Arruabarrena.
We just call him Alex.
Ricardo Neto, who started today as the short stack, is amazingly still around, and we are only 1 player away from making the money.
Unfortunately for him, he's still pretty short.
Action on Mario Salvano. 4 deuce offsuit. Nah, that's not going to play that one.
Jose Rosenkrantz going to look down. Ace and 8 of diamonds suited. Might be a playable hand here.
Well, it is playable for him. He's going to raise this up to 12,000.
And he's probably not going to get any action unless he runs into a good hand from somebody. Or maybe if our chip leader here decides to play the bully, but he doesn't with his king 3.
Action over to Ricardo Neto. 2 black 10s.
Now that's a real hand.
Now he's 1 away from the money. Does that factor into his decision?
It absolutely should factor into his decision. I mean, if he folded right now, I really wouldn't say he made a big mistake.
Well, he decides to call.
I think he's trying to play this one cautiously. He's just calling rather than re-raising pre-flop.
Here's the flop, 9-4 deuce rainbow. Neto with the overpair. He's first to act.
Thinking it over carefully.
All in.
Well, he's all in. He's throwing caution to the wind. His tournament life on the line right now, but he's way ahead of Rosenkrantz. I don't think Rosenkrantz can call this one.
Well, Rosenkrantz has him covered, but barely. If Jose makes the call and is wrong, he's going to be absolutely crippled. Almost no chips left.
Well, Neto's sweating this one out. But he's going to win this one. Rosenkrantz throws his hand in the muck. Neto shows the 2 black 10s.